Sonic 2 is probably one of the most documented Sonic games when it comes to the development of the game. We have a ton of concept art, old builds, and developer concepts for the game, so we have a pretty clear idea of what the game originally was going to be like. But even with the earliest builds of the game that we have available, like the Nick Arcade and Simon Y ports, we never got that close to the original vision of Yuji Naka. But there is a ROM hack out there that is looking to try to get as close to that vision as possible, and that ROM hack is Sonic 2 Archives, a ROM hack that implements not only old zones but also old features like the time travel system. And in today's video, similar to what we did with Sonic Overture, I'm going to be going zone by zone and seeing how much the game takes from the concept art and to see how much it matches the original vision of Sonic 2. Now, I think it is important to mention that this ROM hack is not complete. This is only a demo, but for a demo, it has a decent amount of levels. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So as mentioned previously, there are quite a few zones in this demo, 8 in the main game and 9 if you count the secret level in the game, and currently there are only 2 time periods, the present and the past, with the present having Emerald Hill, Ocean Wind, Jungle Woods, Sand Showers, and Metropolis Zone. And we're already on point with the concept art. If we look at the present map of West Island, it has all of these zones and they even go in order, ending up at the warp point where you would go to the past. And in the past, we only have 2 levels, Tropical Sun and Aquatic Ruin Zone. Now, something is a bit different here. While we do have Tropical Suns, Aquatic Ruins isn't on the past map, but there is an Olympus Zone. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna take a guess that Aquatic Ruins is what Olympus Zone turned into, so that's why it's here instead, but I'm not 100% sure. But I digress. Let's start off with Emerald Hill, and while at a glance it doesn't seem that different, the background looks more accurate to the early screenshots of the game with the more detailed and greater quantity of clouds in the background, and the reflections use dithering rather than just being the sprite flipped. Sonic himself also seems way more accurate to the earlier demos with that early running animation, and the feature where Sonic can just slam into a wall even made it in. Another thing that's added is the snail enemy that we can see in early concept arts and in the Nick Arcade and Simon Y version of the game, but it looks a bit more like a snail, and the checkpoints also take on the look of the older designs. But besides that, the level layout is practically the same and the acts end the same, with one more change being that Sonic's goalpost is staring dead into your soul, which was originally used in the Nick Arcade build, but thankfully they changed that shit. Why would they have Sonic do that, bro? Act 2 completely changes the vibe, going for a more cloudy look, but similar to Act 1, Act 2's layout is mostly the same, and it ends just like how it does in original with the boss fight. But I'm really digging how each act looks like it's going to have a different look, kind of like how they started to do with Sonic 3. Up next is Ocean Wind Zone, which is the first stage taken from the concept arts, and this level appears to be some type of boardwalk level, almost like a 2D version of Emerald Coast. And honestly, I really like how this game adapts this stage. We of course have the corkscrew ramp of the concept arts, and the background seems nearly spot on. And Act 2 is more of the same, but takes place during the sunset, which makes it really nice. And at the end of the stage, you fight a new boss where Eggman tries to electrocute Sonic with water, and I really appreciate how this game has original bosses for the original stages. Up next, we have Jungle Wood Zone, or more commonly known as Wood Zone, which takes place at night, and I think it's here where it starts to click that we're going through these stages throughout the day, and it kind of gives a good visual of how time is progressing throughout the game. Now, this stage is interesting because we actually got to see an early version of this in the Nick Arcade and Simon Y version of the game, but in those versions, the stage gimmicks like the treadmills don't work, and the stage just like cuts off halfway through the level. Here, it's a complete and finished level with the working treadmills and even a buzzsaw, which I could have sworn were in the concept animations, but they aren't. I don't know if it was a Mandela effect or something, because I swear I saw a saw in one of the concept arts, but I cannot find it. Someone in the comments, please tell me I'm not crazy, bro, please. Something that I do know is in the concept arts is these wooden springs that can be found in one of the concept arts and in the stage. And the final last thing I could find from the concept arts is this frog enemy in the stage that can be seen in some of the arts. Act 2 is the same thing, but during the sunrise, and the stage ends with a saw boss and it's off to the next zone. And that level is Sand Shower Zone, which we have seen on 3 separate occasions, officially at least. One time in the Sonic 2 concept art, more commonly known as Dust Hill Zone. A second time in the Sonic City 2011 concept arts with Desert Dazzle. And finally, officially released in Sonic Mania as Mirage Saloon. But how does this game portray the Sonic 2 version of this level? Well, starting off, we already have a bunch of stuff that we can see in the level. With this crocodile from the concept arts, we can also spot the cactus flowers that open and close in the level. And just to have it all come together, if we go a bit more forward in the level, we can see the exact spot where this animation takes place with the crocodile and the sand fall in the exact same spot. And it's just a really nice little reference to that little concept art. Now going forward, we can see this pterodactyl enemy, which can be found in the concept arts, and this cactus enemy that could be hidden in some of the enemy sketches for Dust Hill Zone. And as far as I could see, that is everything in this stage. And this is by far the most stuff from the concept arts that has been adapted into this game. And the final stage in the present day is Metropolis Zone. Now, I think most of the level design here is similar to the original, and besides the background of Act 1 having a more factory vibe to it rather than metallic base, but I think there are some changes. I think what's throwing me off is that there is no Act 3, it's only 2 acts compared to the original having 3. But I'm pretty sure there is some changes, I'm just not 100% sure. Then, after that, we get to the warp point, which we don't have any concept art for, so it takes on a more original look, but I really mess with this like ancient temple vibe that it's going for. But something that is pulled from the concept art is the infamous Sonic 1 concept art loop with the golden sun, which is just a nice little touch there. And taking the portal teleports you to the past and subsequently takes you to Tropic Suns. And this level, besides the warp point, is the only one that looks completely different to the concept arts. The concept arts kind of looks like the past version of Ocean Wind, which would make sense because it is the past version, or probably was, but here it leans really into a jungle vibe with large lush trees and tall mountains in the background. To be fair, this is probably the only one that takes the most creative liberty and becomes its own stage separate from the concept arts. Interestingly though, this is only one act and has no boss fight, but I really do like how it looks. It kind of feels like Jurassic, if that makes any sense, and I like all these like cool gimmicks with like the rotating platforms and stuff. And finally we have Ancient Ruins, which I believe is what Olympus Zone was supposed to be. And again, besides the visual changes, the stage layouts for both acts are virtually unchanged from the final game. And that covers all of the main stages from Sonic 2 Archives. But if we're going to go deeper into the level select, we can also check out Hidden Palace from Sonic 2, the most infamous cut stage from the game, and it seems like they're using the layout from the Nick Arcade build rather than the headcanon layout. And with that, that is every stage in the game and how it compares to the concept arts. And what I really like about this game, and what I think it separates itself from something like Sonic Overture, where Sonic Overture is kind of like a spin-off game, kind of alternate reality, where it's its own game, but it takes stuff from the past games, kind of like a prequel. This is Sonic 2, but it is the original vision of Sonic 2. It is a version of Sonic 2 if we had the original vision, which I think is kind of a really interesting spin on kind of like a game or Sonic game taking stuff from concept arts and putting it into its own thing, which is really cool. And I wish like the other games did that and not just did like it's a sequel or prequel version. This is actually really cool. And with that, that's really all I have to say for today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment down below if I missed anything in the game or something that you think would be interesting if they wanted to add in the next patch or next version of the game. And if the creators watching this video, not congratulations. I don't know why I would say congratulations. I mean, you did a fantastic job. I played this when it came out, in the Sonic hacking contest, and it was really fun. I was really interested in it because I'm just interested in like Sonic content stuff. So this really was really cool to look at. Also, we're like 30 subscribers away from 13K as of recording this video, so we should be close to 13K, and I just want to pre-fire say thank y'all for that. We started off the year strong and we've been going strong, and I just want to say thank y'all for the support on that last video. That was really fun to make, and y'all been asking, and yeah, I'm down to finish that mod and do more levels for it. Maybe I'll do a few levels I don't know if I'll do all of them, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that Sonic 2 beta video will be coming. It's just a matter of when at this point. And yeah, that's really all I have to say for today. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.